Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So just to go over a recap, you the embarrassment incident came up, right?
Yes.
And you said, something that happened, and it's bothering you. That was the main thing. I'm just kind of paraphrasing and summarizing now. So there was this incident that you were bothered about. At least you were bothered about being embarrassed by it. Yes,
Um,
by
yeah. Well, yes, no. I was bothered by the idea that it was still being kept a secret. That I was still
oh, right,
carrying
right,
this as baggage.
right. But it was the embarrassment that was the key there. Yes, or at least the thing. But the secrecy of this incident. Yes,
Yeah.
correct. You were bothered by that. And at least when it came up for me, it was the embarrassment that was the anomaly. That you're still embarrassed by something like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's part of what I
So
tried to express. Yeah.
yeah, so they, but when you started to share with me, you said, oh, you were scammed, right?
Well,
Now it took quite a while. Oh,
okay.
well, I was trying to make the point, sorry, that initially I just, scammed. I just assumed it was something involving money, which typically that's what the scam is. But yes, there is money in your scam, but it was also a love scam, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
That's what
Now,
I'm
now,
saying.
now,
That's why
yeah. So that's why what again?
I said I'm pretty sure I made that clear yesterday that it was what's called a romance scam.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Okay.
where I'm heading. See,
Yeah.
only yesterday did this come out for me. We've been talking about this all week already. I only found out yesterday it was a romance scam. All right. So yeah, here's why this is significant. Yes. So
Okay.
I didn't click that this was a romance scam. That changes a lot for me to a regular just okay, you were scammed, somebody promised you something or you bought something, took money, whatever, some kind of a con job. Romance
Mhm.
scam, very significant. That this is a whole different deal entirely. And the reason for this is, but first, before I get to that reason, why I'm adding on to this, but this is a beautiful lesson of just moreness and all sorts of wonderful stuff going on, right?
Yes, it
So
is.
exactly, because it came out and it's anomalous and there's not a lot of clarity. It's a little bit muddled, but then when we started going into more, I said, what's the more reason? Because the surface initial reason that didn't add up. That wasn't quite adding up for me. There was more. There was more, and you kept at it. You kept at it, and look at your two beautiful posts, two absolutely fabulous, fantastic posts of really, these are potent depth discernments of moreness, layered moreness, connecting to self-punishment, which is a very big deal. The grasping at trivial pleasures when you're drowning in negativity and abuse and horribleness, and your scale of values, it gets completely screwed up, right?
Yes.
So this is a powerful, ridiculously powerful understanding. Yes,
Yes.
this clutching at straws for the emotionally drowning person. Yes, this is
Yes.
a big. I mean, this is an awareness and an understanding when it comes to dealing with people in those situations and past, especially because they do things to get a little bit of positive attention because they're so desperate that are questionable in normal circumstances. And
Exactly.
so their guilt and their shame doesn't always come from being the abuser in like in your case with your father, oh, it's my father, incest, god, no, all that shit. That's not the thing that bothers sometimes. It's the little things that you did in order to get a little bit of positivity. But
Mm-hmm.
when you frame it in that context, when you understand, oh, but I'm thinking under a really clouded perception. I'm so desperate for any little bit of positivity and good feeling, I'll do fucking anything, right? So now you realize that how you are being distorted, manipulated, pressured by the circumstances completely out of your control, and you
Yes.
taking responsibility for something that is reactionary, right? It's like walking along the pavement, and this truck loses control and starts barreling down you, and you jump through somebody's window and break the glass.
Yes.
And now you feel guilty for breaking their glass.
Right. And that was inappropriate as far as I'm
It's
concerned.
ridiculous. It's fucking
Yes.
ridiculous. Right.
Yes.
Okay. Let's make it a little bit stronger. It's not just inappropriate. It's fucking ridiculous. You can't be taking responsibility for that. You would have been run over by the damn truck otherwise. It's like, come on,
Exactly.
seriously, you
That,
had no choice there. Right.
yeah.
So this is the key element to understand. When you're drowning and you grab at the straw, even though it's inappropriate, you don't have a choice, right? It's maybe
Right.
not the best analogy. Yeah, when that truck is barreling down on you, coming down the pavement, you jump through the bloody window or whatever you do. That's it.
Right.
All right. So, you may run over the baby cart or something, and inside the house as you jump through, and you hurt the baby. Well, sorry, baby, too bad. It couldn't be helped.
That's why
Yeah.
I wrote in there. I think it was real important. There's 3 paragraphs where it starts in truth for me. The lesson was never about a resolution to a romance scam. It was
Exactly.
that rapid
Exactly.
stop to the self-punishment. And still, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it stopped yesterday. It was like,
Yes.
done.
Yes. But I'm going somewhere. I'm going
Okay.
somewhere. Sorry. Because I'm just kind of going through all of this as to lay the scenario to where I'm heading.
Okay.
There's one additional point which I feel is an important point. And this comes about because it's a romance scam. Now, why does a romance scam make all the damn difference? And you mentioned the peculiar embarrassment about this particular scam. And at first, okay, you were scammed. All right, big deal, So I didn't know it was a romance scam until yesterday. Uh, so then I'm like, okay, now it clicked for me. Why the pressure on you, however it came out, secrecy doesn't matter. There was a distinct pressure about this particular thing. And here's the bottom line. It's about implications, right? If
Yes.
we can right, so if we're in a romance scam and we can actually get into a situation, now again, you're emotionally compromised, your awareness is compromised, your discernment, your judgment, everything is compromised, right? So essentially, you're stupid, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Inside you, there is this knowledge and awareness that, wait a second, now you have to adjust it, now in sensibility to say, well, I'm not likely to be scammed again with this, but still, right? Here's the consequence, the implication that I want to go at is that I can be in a situation where there is love and connectivity, at least I believe so, and it can be false. This
Yes.
means if it can be false once, it can forever always be false, which means by implication, at least for the inner bureaucrats, to say, fuck, I'm screwed now. I can never, ever after this, ever believe that if I'm being loved, that it's genuine and real.
That's right.
That is a disastrous awareness for most people. They can't handle this. They can't tolerate this because they are so desperate to be loved. To be loved. I'm using my words very specifically here. Yes. They're not necessarily desperate to love others, right? Or to have love, but to be loved. This is a very different thing. It's an ego. It's a self-importance thing. It's a hierarchy. I need to be loved. This is like the be-all and end-all of life. If you can't be loved, then you just crap. So there's a deep conditioning in this, right? And look at the movies when we grew up. As the love story, blah, 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 and then comes the big climax. Oh, I love you. Oh, God, this is it. This is the be-all and end-all of freaking everything. And of course, it's absolute crap, as this incident has proven to you. Yes. If you
Yes.
don't have independence of being, somebody loving you or not, you can never be sure it's true. So it means absolutely fuck all.
Yeah.
It's total crap. You can enjoy it, like I said, with the like that incident with Olivia and the catfisher, where she deliberately enjoyed these bogus fake love, and it
Yeah.
was nice. And that's it. She knew it was doesn't matter. So now the point is, because she had at least got some measure of independence of being at that point. So now
Uh-huh.
this is very, very, very potent to really understand that, the thing that was the embarrassment is not the embarrassment, it's the botheration of that awful truth that, oh my God, fucking hell, I can't ever trust love again, no matter what. Because
Yep.
at the time I believed it. So I can be bullshitted when it comes to love. Now, it's not actually really true, because you are in a compromised awareness, but it doesn't matter. You don't remember the compromised awareness, maybe. You just remember that you were being bullshitted when it comes to love. That's right. So
Right.
this is the implication and the consequence. And I'm glad now when I mention it, all this other stuff that's come, which is so powerful. When we come to the thing which actually kept this trigger alive, in my opinion, it doesn't matter anymore. It's like, well, okay, yeah, so what? I've got independence of being. If somebody comes and they love me, I'm just going to enjoy it, and I'll trust without trusting. If it turns out to be bullshit, well, so what? I'll just move on to the next one, like, whatever,
Yes.
or not. It's not an issue anymore. But
No.
then, when you believed that you needed to be loved in order to survive, right? Then it
Yes.
was a bigger deal. See? So,
Yeah.
okay, at least it took a little while. It didn't just crash immediately, which, you got out of things. And so, it lets, so like I said before, it was a profound gift from the universe. It was $200 worth of the most ridiculously awesome therapy you can imagine, right?
That's
A-
true.
and and proving this point, that you cannot go around looking for absolute love. It's a false belief that absolutely is going to prevent anyone that does do that from achieving and acquiring independence of being. And they're
Yeah.
always going to be vulnerable. Right now, it doesn't mean that they're vulnerable to scammers. What happens? You fall in love with somebody and they fall in love with you, and it's all wonderful, and then they fall out of love with you.
Yeah. And that's a whole
And they're
different
a
story.
nice person, and a good person and everything. But
Yeah.
but for some people, that's equally devastating. See,
Yeah.
because if their self-worth is tied to being loved,
Uh-huh.
then this whole romantic bubble, this bullshit bubble of I have to be loved to be a good person, to be okay, to be happy in life. This is the belief, right? So
Yes.
if
Yes.
you can't trust it, if you can't trust love, you're screwed. You put those two together, you see.
Yeah.
Now you've already solved the thing of being loved. This has
Yes.
already been solved for you. But the issue back then was still, because it was a romance bubble, that thinking would be in there somewhere, because at the time you were subscribing to that somewhere.
Yes.
Between then and now, you actually have gotten rid of this dependency on being loved, because
Hmm.
you've acquired independence of being. It's quite
Yes.
remarkable. So now, when we look at the entirety of this incident and the exploration and the multi-layeredness, and we start to see all these powerful reasons coming out, we've got one more. Yes, okay, it's a past tense deal for you. It's not an issue anymore, but you're aware now that 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 not being able to trust love, it's a non-issue for you, which is one more proof of how much you've changed. Yes.
Yes.
So I think, as a part four, this is just to write about this. You're no longer dependent on love for your well-being or being
All
loved.
right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Now, I'm being very precise with my wording, right? You're no
Yes.
longer dependent on being loved for your well-being. That doesn't mean that you can't go around loving and enjoying being loved. Of course not. And you can, and you will, of course. But anytime you truly want to enjoy love, it requires independence of being. Because other than that, you have dependency, and dependency is the cancer of love. Yes?
Yes. 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 Um, I'm wondering if this isn't why I, maybe it started yesterday or the day before, but I got to a point where I was looking at people on social media and I'm going, what is this? I could not figure out what half the people were doing. And then it dawned on me, oh my God, they're all asking, they're all climbing for attention,
Exactly.
for love.
Exactly.
They're
Exactly.
clamoring for it.
Exactly. 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 They all actually are really, selling their souls for it.
Yes. I was really taken aback. And then I thought about some of the other videos that I'd done. And it's like, okay, I probably was in on that as well, going, somebody like me kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I had to see, and this is also another piece of self-proof. I don't know how to write about it, but one of my followers, he's also a coaching client. He
I
said
love that you have coaching clients, by the way. It gives me so much joy. I can't tell you.
I need more, that's for sure. So I'm working on manifesting that. I'm working on pulling that in and changing my ideas about money.
But you are, and you have got them, and some of them are paying at least something, yes?
Yeah, they're paying a little bit. I would like, so we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. But this person, he told me a big compliment. He said, when I first started watching and listening to your videos and reading a lot of your material, he said, I found a lot of wisdom and a lot of it was super helpful. And he goes, but there's been a change in the last couple of days. He said, I've noticed that you are very direct about your message. He said, and you're coming out not overly strong, but very confident.
Yeah.
That is an enormous change. And he goes, what has shifted for you personally? And it's like, I let go of a whole lot of grief. I just let it go. And I wish I could explain how I did, but when I wrote that post yesterday about what I want, those are things I want, and I'm done. I'm so over grief. I'm over grief. It's 4 years. It's enough. I'm done.
Yeah. I'll tell you how you did it. I really don't like to tell, but in my opinion, you did it because of ADU, awareness, discernment, and understanding.
I believe that. Yeah.
That's it. When we become fully aware of something, and it's also in part because you applied perspective shifting, you looked at the thing from multiple angles, and when we do that, we can get to see the bigger picture that's not available through one angle. Right?
That's right.
But when you come to that absolute total understanding, there's nothing left to understand, and you can let it go.
That's it right there, because there's no more questions.
There's no more questions. You get it. You get it. It's like, what the fuck do you need to hang on to it for? I understand it. I know you hang on to it. You hang on because you don't understand, because you're not getting it. You're not learning your lessons. You don't have the awareness of what's involved. That's why I brought up this thing with the belief in love and the dependency that people have on love, and I call it love lust.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. I mean that's what it is for most people, right? They have a lust for love. They have to have it. I mean, say like or love addicts is even a better word for it. Right?
There you go. Yep, and I know a couple of those personally. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And it's terrible, and even the sad part is, even if they get it, because they are so dependent on it, they screw it up anyway, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because you become a love vampire.
Oh, not only that, the way I see it is like, how a kid holds on to a chocolate bar and it gets all gooey. Yeah,
exactly.
Top and the bottom
exactly.
Of your head.
Exactly. Or they squeeze the ice cream cone and they pop the ice cream out the top. Yeah. Right. They fuck it up. In other words, you cannot be desperate for love. You have to have independence of being. Then you can enjoy love freely. And this actually applies to almost anything, pretty much, right? But it's so particular with love because love is so pressed and pushed as this be all and end all. You have to be fucking loved by somebody else to be happy, to be worthy, to be a good person. Bullshit. So this is, philosophy of opposite. this is one of the most profound applications of it, right? Because philosophy of opposite said the stuff that's usually pushed as the most important things in the world, turn it upside down, and somewhere in the region of upside down, you're going to find the truth. Here
Yeah.
is one of those, right? Now,
Yep.
of course, that's why it's somewhere in the region of upside down. It doesn't mean that love isn't potent and isn't powerful and isn't enjoyable. It is, but
Yeah.
only from a position of independence of being. Yes. You
It's
can't be a love addict or a love slave or a, what was the other one? Lusty in love, whatever. No,
yeah.
can't be.
Yeah. How can I agree with the final post on that, because that's also I did this for whatever reason, the name evolving declaration. It's what I titled this. It's kind of like my Emancipation Proclamation for myself. I wrote one and I posted it on my page, but it's not done. I feel like there's more to this particular aspect, this story, like you were talking about. No more dependency on being loved for well-being. I do need to
exactly
write about that.
Exactly.
How can
so
my question? How can I don't want to use this as a springboard for anything, but I do feel like people need to understand and really get the depth of this. And I don't know how to do that. It'll come to me, I guess.
I would say, okay, so the problem is with these longer posts that they don't always get read by many people. Yeah,
they don't.
So I would make one of those shorter posts, like some of the people do, that say, who's interested in whatever the core issue is here.
Okay.
And then have like Gaia does every now and then. She has a little public webinar, right?
Yeah, there you go. A little like a sit-in session. Yeah.
But you can do this where you invite them to this. I call it a webinar, right? It's a free webinar. You come and attend. They can come on Zoom and attend, or they can just attend in chat, and that's it, right? They don't have to. Well, they can still come on Zoom, but they don't necessarily have the mics open and all that, right?
Okay.
And you're going through everything, and you can look into webinars, because you can set up your webinar, and you can have some slides, and do a little presentation where instead of you just talking all the time, right?
Yeah.
Just to make it a little bit more official. But here's the thing now, right? So what you want to do is you've got the two-step strategy to this, and most of the people know also what's going on here, that you are going to be talking about the pain point in your webinar.
Yes.
You're not going to, and you want to write this out. You want to script this webinar, right? And have some, slides with the quote on it, slides with a drawing on it, a painting, image, whatever, to represent your point. Yeah. So just you talk a bit, and then you pull up a slide. You just do screen share and so on. So okay, right. And you're just going through the stuff, but you do want to have this a bit scripted out, so that you can follow this. Yes. And while your slides are up, they don't even have to see you. They can just see you in the little corner there in the small thing, right? You can be reading your copy. There's even if you're doing it on the laptop, with a Zoom, you can get it's called teleprompter, and you can even have a teleprompter thing that reads. But still, it's not really. You just read it. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
So anyway, so now you're doing this webinar, and all you're focusing is on the pain of not being loved, right? So this is what you're going to advertise. You're going to say something like, who has experiences the pain of not being loved, and or do you want to be loved and not finding love, and you're struggling to find love, and blah blah blah, right? This is it.
Right.
But you're not offering any fucking solutions whatsoever. None. Not one. Zero. You only talking about the problems. Your webinar is titled, the pain of not being loved.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't promise anything in there. So now you go through this, and what you are looking for is the people who say, "Oh yeah, this is me. Yes, I hear you on this. Yes, I had the same thing. I went with this I had," and this is what you want to encourage, right? So
Mhm.
so in the webinar, you can even open it up and have all the different people, like in remember in Accountability Lab, everybody was sharing all their traumas and stuff, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
they were sharing trauma stories. Well, here you go. You're going to share your same stories, except now it's going to be about how you were screwed over in love, how you were taken advantage of in love, and all of the stuff, right? And how you can't find love and blind love. All of the basically, it's a big, long, big complaining fest session, commiseration session. That's it. Doesn't matter. So
Right.
then at the end of this, you say, now, okay, what are you guys going to do about this? Oh, we're supposed to do something about this? Oh, well, do you want to get out of this? Do you want to continue feeling this shit? Or do you want to just have stuck in this? There are solutions here, people. There are solutions. This is not something that you need to endure. There really is a solution here.
Yeah.
And this is now fine. You want to do this? Fine. You come and you connect, hooked up with me, and this is what we work on. And then you can put together a list of points like when you design your webinar now, which is
Mhm.
essentially giving a talk about all of the painfulness of involved with love, not being loved, poor love, in whatever, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure you've got tons of material there,
Mhm.
right? No problem to get it up. And you do want to look at some of the posts where people are complaining and whining and sharing their grief and loss and suffering and trauma when it comes to love, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
so this is it. Love trauma. There might be that. There's a good topic, right? But
Okay.
you really want to make. I don't know. I have very abstract topics. I would have it more like the question, like a question type thing. Are
Yeah.
you suffering from love? That's it.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? Because
Mhm.
you're dealing with a different psychology. Psychology, I don't really want to deal with too much, but okay. So you got to know your audience, right? This is the key
Yeah.
point, as Bean is so fond of pointing out. Very, very important. Anyway, so at the end of your webinar, then you say, look, if you want more, you sign up, you make an appointment, you come and talk with me. Now, don't try and get them to go from webinar to paying client in one jump.
No, it's got
No,
to be a process.
you need eight jumps.
Okay.
You need 8 steps before they sign, typically on
Okay.
average, right? So the first one is they read the post. The second one could be they signing up for your webinar. Third one is actually attending the webinar. Fourth one is participating in the webinar. Fifth step is coming and having a private chat with you. Sixth step is okay, check out my articles, whatever, and so on and so forth, right? So it doesn't matter. Sometimes very trivial step, but the steps aren't big. They are commitments of acceptance,
Oh, there we go. Okay.
right?
Okay.
So it's very important to understand. So basically, if I've said yes to you a couple of times, to say yes to signing for the money is not a problem, because I'm already comfortable saying yes, 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 right?
Mhm.
And there you go, and then you go, and then from there you move on. So
This is awesome.
and then you start signing them up, and if you now really want to, you can put it together as a little course, and all your main topics, and we can work on this together a little bit too if you want. You can lay it all out, and then we'll go over it in session, and refine it, and you can say, okay, here's my topic, and the first thing we're going to be discussing in our sessions, in which you come and you paying whatever the price for the session is,
Mhm.
um, and then we'll be discussing step one, which is beliefs, or false beliefs. Step two is dependency. Step three, lack of independence of being, or whatever. I mean, that's a very quick jump from the
Yeah.
crap in the beginning to the end. You want to go through it more in detail, but you'll
Yeah.
know when you start working on the topic. It will come up in your talk on the pain points. You just take all those pain points and add a solution, and then there will be your course, you see.
Yep. Yep.
But you don't want to do it as a course necessarily, because now you're putting a time limit onto things. You can say, look, come and you sign up with me, and you come every week, and we'll work on this, and I have an agenda that we're going to work through, and here's what we're going to be working through, and then we'll also go sideways on it as it applies to you personally, because this is custom now. It's not, these are general things, but we're going to get into it as it's custom to you. Talk about your specific things, and then you bring all of your core stuff into it, but it's now got an agenda, more or less, right? And you start bringing all of the things into it. So this is a good way to go about it, no?
Yes, it is.
So the key is, all right, so the key to all of this is, and I would recommend you now go down through the group. Well, I think you are still group admin, if I'm not mistaken.
Moderator is what you got me in as.
Yeah, all right. Well, whatever, any one of those.
Okay.
So if you go and you look at on the side of, where you see the post on the left hand side, you scroll down and it says, participant requests and all that stuff, and then you get to the bottom, insights, right? And you go growth, engagement. I think it's under engagement. You can see popular days, popular times, posts, right? Okay, yeah, I'll show you what this is.
Okay, hold on, let me get into that.
Well, on the phone, it might be a bit of a pain. So,
rules, group activity. Yeah, it's got group activity. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So you see on the left here, it says admin tools. And, if it says group activity, then you're probably going to have it under that there as well. But if you can try on your laptop, there was something that you needed to do on your laptop to get it going again. And I don't know if we ever got there, by the way. So if you want to just set it up again with a.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out this weekend. Yeah, I was going to check it out this weekend and see what I can get going on it. Uh-oh. Okay, it's just screen sharing. Okay.
So now you see under yeah. Oh, it's taking a while to screen share?
No, I got it. I got it now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. So it just shows the posts here. You see, this is under admin tools here. You see, if I scroll up and down here, it's home. And well, I've already clicked on it. Come on now. I click down the very bottom here, insights under engagement. That's where I'm at now, right? See, that's black here, right? So under engagement, it shows you, like this, all the different posts and popular days, popular times. Again, you see why.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I can see that. What day is that you're looking at? Wednesday? Okay. It looks like Wednesday is the best day to post, right? Did I lose volume? Okay, I don't hear you at all.
Why am I muted?
Yeah,
right, there we go. I don't know. Somebody was muting me for whatever reason. Okay.
Yeah.
So Mondays are the best day to post.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think this was for the last 7 days, maybe. Oh no, last 28 days. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say last 60 days. Let's make it a little longer. Yeah, it's still Mondays, and then Wednesday and Thursday are good as well.
Thursdays is usually a real big day. Yeah. Okay.
It's the best time, right? 6 a.m. Now that will be 8 a.m. your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah. You see 7, 8, 6, anywhere around there. 6, 7, 8. Well, it's 6 a.m. my time, so 8, 9, 10 your time.
Yeah. Well, I do have the ability to schedule my posts, so I can always schedule it to put it in at a certain time. Okay.
Exactly, and that's what I would pick 8 a.m. your time. That would be the best time. Yeah.
All right.
And I've seen this very consistently, because now your post sits there, lingers, comes up, and the people say, all right, but yeah.
Oh, I lost you again.
45 comments,
Yeah.
54 reactions, and reactions include, love and
Right.
wow and all of that, all of the whole range there, not just likes. And then views, this 1301, right?
Yeah.
Now, they don't always put things in order. It just says top posts, and they're
Okay.
including all three of these for the top post, right?
Okay.
So you got to look like this got a lot of views, um, but I think this is just because of his photos.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got a lot of women in the group. You got an attractive guy, gets a lot of views because of that, right? And it's a
Yeah.
personal little story, guys sharing their heart. So when it comes to self-love, what would you say is your biggest challenges are? So you see, this also got a lot of reaction, right?
Yeah.
So now, but look at this, right? What does life coach mean to you? They questions,
Uh,
non-question, right? Question. See, question, all questions, right?
okay.
And here's another one. Well, I guess it's a question again, question. So read through these and sort of get a feel for the stuff, and see what people, and I wouldn't do it here. I would actually
Yeah. Go in there so that I can see the comments. Oh, I lost you again.
after a while, and but the questions by far get the most reactivity. It's quite
Okay.
amazing, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Every now and then one gets like this, where this guy was all my life I've been a guy all girls reject, where he was basically just, complaining his, and this got a lot of reaction because it enabled people to post advice.
Yeah.
Now, this you don't want, right? So you'll see those posts, all the coaches jump in and they get lots of action, right? And not just the coaches, but all the do-gooders and helpful people, they all can say, oh, well, I had this and here's what you do and all this, so they can give
Yeah.
advice and sound clever and look good and be sensible. So, but still, in what ways can one overcome low self-esteem? Again,
Yeah.
this is a question that got a lot of action because people can give advice, you see? So
Yeah.
you've got to look at these very carefully. And if you look at some of them when they well asked, you'll see they are posts that give people a like you know like I've been screwed over by love so many times. Who can relate?
No. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's something that would be a really good one. Like.
Write it down. Write it
Yeah.
down. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a good one because it's achieving two things, right? You're bringing up the pain point and you are giving people a chance to commiserate, and that's what you're after. You don't say, what advice do you have for me? Who can relate? In other words, you're excluding the coaches, right? You
Right.
don't want to make a post that's going to attract your coaches, and not everybody's an official coach, but they're still in the group because they're giving advice and posting about, just telling everybody how clever they are, really. So
Yeah. Yeah.
right, you know what I'm talking about. So
Uh-huh.
anyway, you want to be sure to exclude them, yes. And
Yeah.
these posts are very important to post at that time because that's when those people are on, and you don't, you want to be getting in there that your first couple of comments are commiseration comments. You can even put a story of your own in there to give
Oh,
a flavor of what's involved, right?
yeah. Yeah.
And but still, you want people sharing their guts essentially and complaining and bitching and moaning. Now also you can go and look at the uh, if you just search for different groups, like abuse groups. I'm a member of a whole bunch of them. I very seldom go there because I don't want to go through this past. But
Right.
if you, okay, narcissist, right? You can just look up narcissist group,
Oh, I
and you'll
know.
see people moaning and complaining about all this. Right now,
Oh my God, it's like a
it's
windmill when
very
it comes
stressful
to
for me. Like, but if you now really want to go and farm for clients, this is where you can go. Any of the abuse groups, right? And
Yeah.
you just start responding. You just start responding to them, and initially you commiserate. You don't give advice. You come,
Right.
I hear you. I've been there. I know what you mean. This was it for me. I had this, the same thing. This shit did this and that, and then you go into details. But essentially, you saying past tense.
Yes.
You catch the ones that are present tense, right? You don't get the ones
Mhm.
who are talking about it in the past, but to them the pain is still real. Even though they may be not in a relationship anymore, they're still feeling the pain. They're still angry about it. They're still upset. They're still ashamed. They're still guilty. Whatever, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then you start essentially befriending them through commiseration. Yeah,
Oh, there you
and
go. Okay.
at some point, then you say, look, this is what I do. I actually deal with this. I've come through all the shit myself, and now this is my business. And I don't push it because, well, hey, I'm not here to necessarily just be farming for clients. It is important, but at the same time, I also want to let you know, should you
Yeah.
want help, I'm more than happy to help. And now but you established a relationship. Once they're comfortable sharing their guts with you, what's the next step to being a client? It's no problem, right?
Yes. Yes. I can definitely see that. I really can. And
And in those groups, I mean, you get lots of people that depending on your group, this is a kind of sharing that's constant. What doesn't happen is where you start you get into the conversation. You don't want to be when you first I hear you, sister, I've been there, and then if they respond, you respond again, and then you gradually share more, share more, share more, share more, and basically you make friends with the person.
yes. Yeah. So
So, and
yeah,
then you also see where they at. You get the feel of where they at. So it does take it's extra work to do, but it's a very successful method.
yes, I would agree. What is today? Oh, okay, today's Friday. Sorry. It's like, what is today?
Yeah. And now, all right, I'll tell you something else you can do.
Okay.
You can set up free support groups, right?
Free
You
support.
can say,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So you know what, sister? I hear you. I'm with you, and you've been chatting. You've gone back and forth a dozen times already, right? And
Uh-huh.
they friended you and all this. And you say, you know what? I run a weekly or twice, bi-weekly or once a month. We get together on Zoom, and you can come and share your story, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Again, what does this do? Look at that group that you were in, and Erica was in, and all of you guys were in. What was that? You were all sharing your stories of all the shit that had happened to you in your lives, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We were sharing our stories of pain. Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly. But there was no actual value in there other than sharing your pain. Yes, that has value,
Yeah.
but there's no remedy in that. See?
Right.
So now, obviously, when you do this, and however regularly you do it, you've got, those are all potential clients. Yes. And
Yeah.
then some of them, you will have your client be in there too. I say, well, if you actually want to work on this, rather than just share the point, if you actually want remedies and solutions and different ways of doing and being, well, there you go. You come, you sign up, and you join. Like Larry here. I've been working with Larry for a while. So, Larry, how were you in the beginning? Tell us. And how are you now? Well, okay, I'm much better now. Blah blah.
Okay.
Yes.
See that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. This I can see how it would, every single thing would fit.
Yes. Yeah. And then once they graduate from whatever they're doing with you, you say, okay, now you're ready for the next step. Go and do Way of Impeccability with Sil.
Oh, there you go. And see that maybe that's what the problem is, Sil, because I was like, why aren't people responding? Well, and it's because I think they honestly have to have that ground.
Oh, absolutely. It's too big a jump. It's too big a jump.
Yeah.
I mean, just from your article, they're already intimidated by reading your articles. Like, oh fuck, this is all highfalutin stuff. This is way over my head. I don't know what the fuck's going on here.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah. So when you do your pain points and your webinar, you are connecting from me of then, right? With that language, with that
Oh,
awareness, This is it. You're not connecting with we of now. You're not sharing all of your sophisticated dictionary of power, language, none of that.
Okay.
Nope, nope. It's all me of then. Right.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
Basically, I hear you. I hear you. I was there myself. I was there myself. I hear you. I hear you. And this is it. This is how it was for me. I remember this. I remember how, and you basically just emphasizing on the pain, on the pain, on the pain, on the
Yes.
pain. But of course, when they hear this, right, they're going to be sharing in pain. You're going to be sharing about having been in pain. It's two different things. You're going to be talking about the exact same thing, but the implication is huge, correct? And then eventually, but Sher, you went through all the shit, but I don't see you crying every day. You're not going to sleep crying yourself to sleep every day. What the fuck's going on here? I said,
Right.
I used to be there. I hear you, but that's not the end. The story doesn't have to. You don't have to be stuck in this. You can get out of it, and this
Like
is my story.
Yeah,
See?
just like I said yesterday, it doesn't have to hurt.
Exactly. But you want to save the article stuff for your session.
Yeah, I believe so. And that was bringing up my next point, which is I still would like to post takeaways, but I don't think I'm going to be posting a lot of this stuff every day anymore.
I agree. I was just about to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to say, exactly. Shifted a little bit.
I did. And I hit that point this afternoon. Actually, I was looking at everything and it's like, no, you know what? I think it's time for another shift. And this shift is I'm going to start backing up of, like the videos and of the daily posting. And like you said, if I do right, it's only going to be about a pain point. It's not going to offer them a solution.
Exactly.
Come talk to me on video.
Exactly. You bringing up a pain point. That's it. You're not talking about the solutions. That's all you're doing. You're just stirring that pot. Stirring that pot. Yeah. Because it's a value to this. Of course, when people talk about the pain, it releases the pain a little bit, right?
Yes.
It's like when you got a boil and you got to launch that boil. It's painful to get that crap out, but it does offer relief. So yes, you coming and you prodding that boil to pop it and get the stuff to come out, but doesn't matter. It's still valuable, right? So it's step one though. Now, the point is those people will be stuck with their problems unless they get to be comfortable. One, first of all, sharing about it, and two, being comfortable to share it with somebody, right?
Yes.
And then get to, understand, hey, you know what? This person has been where I'm at. They know what I'm talking about. So somebody explained it this way. They said, look, you come into a group where you've got your problems. And the person that is there in the group with you, you're listening to all these people, right? And there's one person in the group that understands everything that you say. Who are you going to trust for a solution? The person who hasn't been where you are, or the person who has?
Yeah, exactly.
So you are going to be an expert at sharing pain points, not solutions.
Right.
Because that's who I trust. If somebody says, well, what do? They're going to turn to the person who's been there where they are at, because they don't trust anybody else to know what the fuck is going on from the inside.
Yes.
So your strength, your power as a trauma survivor, victim survivor, all of this crap survivor, is the fact that you are an expert on the fucking pain, not the expert on solution. Right.
Yeah.
So your posts have been a little bitty with us. Okay, here's a solution. Here's a solution. But and yes, I've encouraged this because you're not writing to get clients. You're writing for yourself. You need to know what the solution is. But now you're in a situation where you're going to shift it a little bitty. And I would recommend also that if you start writing pain points thing, yes, post them, absolutely post them in group by all means, but post them in all those other groups as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And practice also posting them as questions, and so on. And, because the question is stirring the pot. The question is stirring the pot. Yeah. And I made a list somewhere once upon a time, of groups, and I had a whole long list of it. And I would just go so that I guess once you join them, you can, but just so that I'm a bit organized and I know I'm posting in this group, and you just organize posting in going through a rotation of them and so on.
Yeah. I don't have any problem coming up with the questions because my book alone is filled with nothing but questions. There's 240 pages of questions right there.
Exactly.
And that's just my book.
Right. So be very clear in two things. That
Okay.
you are genuinely setting up a situation and a system where you are going to be practicing capital H hearing, and you are going to be for genuine listening to people talk about their crap.
Right.
Right. I mean, you got to be sincerely and genuinely interested in doing this because
Yes.
it helps. And then you're also setting up your support group where you come on Zoom and talk about it. And then you're going to do the webinars where they can come for free and listen to people talk. You give a whole talk on it, and so you're offering services. The services are essentially commiseration services, expression services, giving it out service, right? But they aren't solution services. It's commiseration. It's pain sharing. No solutions. You want solutions, you pay. Just simple as that.
Yeah, that's it right there. Solution. Yeah, you gotta pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really simple. I mean, I say, hey, look, sorry, this is my business. I can't be giving this stuff away. And also there's also more to, you can say, look, directly say, look, solutions are custom. We can talk about solutions, and I've written many, many posts going through solutions, and they're my solutions, but they're my solutions. You can figure out solutions for yourself from that. But when you get to customize it, this is when it works for you, right? It's not about taking somebody else's solution and thinking, well, no, it needs to be customized. So it's not that you don't want to share solutions. It's just not that effective, which is why people read self-help books and it doesn't freaking work because it's never customized.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then that's important, right? And you've got to figure out your own fucking solutions. I can help you figure it out. I can give you tools for figuring it out. I can give you tools for creating solutions and, provide you ideas for solutions, plenty. But you've got to choose those. You've got to connect to those. You've got to do it. And then they get it, after a while. So, yeah, very simple. Very cool, Sher. Very cool.
That is
very, very, very cool.
It actually is, because this is really kind of wild. I set an intent the other day. Well, actually, I've been doing it the last 3 nights when I go to sleep, and I'm meditating. And I'm meditating on telling myself that, I can bring in the clients. I can bring in an income. I can bring to shift my mind around money. But this is cool because this actually is like a soft way to come into it instead of, because I'm not, me, I'm just not that person. That's not
me. If fucking Miles and Yats can bring in clients, then so can.
Well, see, that's where I was going. If they can make the gauntlet work, which is not an effective program, I'm telling you, it's not. It really it was scary.
Exactly. So I'll tell you a secret that they have that we don't, or at least I don't. I am absolutely fucking ridiculously cautious and constrained when it comes to making promises.
Yes, me too.
Remove that blockage. Just make promises. And now understand this: when people come and do a course, they want promises. They want promises, and they know those promises aren't necessarily realistic. Doesn't matter. They want to believe. Yes. Now, so when you do these promises, make promises that are not technically, that maybe, okay, you're promising, and I don't know if I can supply this, if I can fulfill this promise, but I know at least that I'm going to be making an effort to do so. And I might not be fulfilling the promise 100%, but I will fulfill the promise to some degree. And that's all that's required. And that's what people want. They want the promise. If they get 100%, okay, great, but don't expect it. Did you have this expectation coming into way of impeccability? No. So, but you're getting more now. So, but again, it's the promises that make the thing. right? So
Right.
just be aware that this is where we struggle, is in the promises. But you don't have to have promises that you're going to fulfill 100%. As long as you're going to fulfill them to some degree, that's all that's required, right?
Is that unethical though?
No, it's not,
Okay.
because you're making a promise that this is what I'm going to be doing. Now, yes, I'm going to try and fulfill it 100%. Absolutely. I'm going to make every
Huh.
possible effort that I can.
Okay.
But again, it's up to you, not up to me, whether I get to fulfill it 100%.
Right.
You see?
Okay.
I'm not being unethical. I'm promising that I'm going to make this effort. But you stating it as this is what you're going to get. But there's an implication there. This is
Okay.
what you're going to get if you do the work.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's the thing right there.
So you can
It's
look at the gauntlet, right?
right.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Okay.
So I mean, they had all those promises. I don't know if they put at the bottom there, that participants are required to do this and this and this to get results. I don't know. Maybe they had it in there or not, but you can put it in there. Put
Yeah.
your disclaimer so that you can make all the promises you like, as long as you know that should the person do the work and do it with you, then they're going to get these results. Then you can make all the promises you like, right?
Okay. All right. Wow.
No problem.
Well, see, I about died the other day when Bina called him primitive. I swear I did.
It was too brilliant. And for most people, if you put that picture of his up on TikTok or Instagram, oh, he's so suave, he's so sophisticated, he's so charming, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
In the more basis psychology, he's going to be looked at, oh, he's just cool, he's in the know, this is the man, right?
Well, yeah, but I found the whole presentation, that whole picture and everything, the background, all of it was just so. And what I felt
Now,
was
yes. Now, yes.
immature.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, yeah. Oh, I agree. It's appalling, but it's know your audience. He's
Okay.
he's not targeting us. He's not targeting us.
Right. Wow.
So,
Okay.
so confidence and cueing confidence is critical, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I share modesty and humility, but at the same token, the things that I know, I'm very confident about what I know, because
Yes.
they're self-evident sensibilities. So I'm very happy to be 100% confident when I talk about impeccability. I have no doubts about this, right? So
Yes.
that's it. You have to know what you know and be confident about what you.
Yes. Well, I was thinking about this too, about, what is it do I know? Well, I know pain. You're right. I do know it.
Exactly. Oh, shit. Yeah, exactly. You are a freaking expert on the shit. Right. So that's it, and then really, what are you offering in your coaching? Right. You don't have to know the solutions. All you got to do is practice capital H hearing, and people will find the solutions themselves.
Now that course makes sense. Now it makes
there
sense.
You go.
Now it makes sense.
When I made that course, I had you in mind. I used you as a template for much of that course. Yep.
It's amazing. Now it makes sense. Why? Okay. Now it makes sense. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Exactly. And also now, take this particular incident, the embarrassment incident. That's what I'm going to call it, right?
Yes.
Okay. It was about secrecy, but it's the embarrassment was what brought out the secret. Because other things came up with secrecy as well, but this particular one. So and how I used it, and what did I do? All I did was encourage you, go further, talk about it, go for. Exactly. I didn't talk all. Exactly.
No, you just encourage those layers to keep peeling back and keep looking for the moreness of it.
And I asked questions and paid attention and looked at stuff. Now, if I'd been in, we've already come a long way, and our whole interaction is. I would not have taken this last point about the love, and this and presented it in that way. If this was more at the beginning. I would have asked you more questions. Okay, what about love? How do you feel? I would have let you come to that conclusion by yourself. I actually presented it as a conclusion, which I very seldom do. But in this case, I'm in a hurry now. It's like I want to go back to bed and sleep, and I don't want to be spending a long time on it because it's actually not an issue for you anymore. If it had
Yeah.
been an issue, but I mention it because it was an issue, and it was like in the background there, or potentially. And so, okay, it's one more thing to be aware of and understand and know. So it's not like you really so necessarily had to come to it, but I could just mention it and you go, oh yeah, okay, and you just add it to your dictionary of power, your database, or whatever, as an understanding, and this understanding about love. So we can short circuit things a little bit. We don't have to work through it in that slow capital H hearing way. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. At some point, the learning gets accelerated, right? You can just
Yeah.
share awareness, and that's it. That's all I was doing. I was sharing awareness, and you're like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, okay. And it all falls into place. It goes a lot quicker. That's a lot quicker.
It's amazing what
Still
happens
brilliant.
when blocks are removed. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So going further here now, because I don't know, I napped earlier. And then I was like, man, I'm more tired than I was, and so I went to lie down, and then I heard the notification sound. Yeah. So anyway, I'll just go to bed early.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say was what I'd recommend tomorrow. Go over this recording again and make notes, because there are two things to make notes on. One, there's the notes about part, what is it, part 4,
Yeah.
about the love addiction, right?
Yeah.
And then you can use that as a pain point. And but you want to also have that, make the notes, and then go into the notes about all of the techniques, and there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. One, you're making
Sure.
a question, asking a question to stir the pot. And then
Yeah.
2, you're setting up the webinar. 3, you're setting up the support group, and so on and so forth. So there's a whole bunch of steps that you can take and do to get the coaching business going a bit more.
There really is.
Yeah.
But so no, I was just thinking about that. Yep. I've got some things to take care of this weekend. So this is good. I feel like I'm in a really
then well, it doesn't matter. I just said tomorrow because then it's still fresh, but you can do this on Monday or Tuesday or whenever.
No. It has to be done this weekend. Nope. My mind is already set for this weekend, just because it feels like it's the next best step right now. Yeah. So I mean, that's
there you go. So then you've got a plan to work on. And you can advertise in the group. I'll pin it as the top, and put it up there. Hey, this is a free webinar, and this is it. That's all. We're just going to be talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
And now keep in mind, when you say who wants to join, right? That when they say who wants to join, you say PM me. They very seldom do, right? Or you PM them, because when you PM somebody who's not your friend, they don't get a notification.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, but again, you don't necessarily want to be making friends with all those people, because many of them are going to be in other third world countries and they can't pay and all of this. So, just be aware that you might get tons of responses, but you may need to take a few steps to actually get them to connect and contact. And you want to do this with the ones that look like real good prospects for the webinar. Follow up, PM them, come back in comments and said, look, I PM'd you, but you've got to check in your whatever, I forget where it is. You've got to look and see for, if I'm not your friend, you've got to acknowledge it, or PM me and I'll accept your thing, and then we'll be talking, right?
Okay.
So you got to put a bit of work into the comments to get a bit of back and forth and accept them, right?
Right.
And then,
right.
Say, feel free to friend me, and then the messages come through more easily and stuff like that. So you're going to have to work it a bit to get them to actually freaking attend. And then also when they do sign up, you can set it up as an event. You can put it as an event in the group if you want to. And then, as it comes closer, like I had somebody, well, I'll show you. Let me do screen share again. She set up a, I clicked on interested, right? Yeah, Carly, but this was not her thing. Hang on. Where is this now? Oh. Well, it was as somebody else. I don't think it was as her name, but maybe it's not showing here because, yeah. Where would there was a whole bunch of messages in it, but I didn't comment on it, so this doesn't show here now. But
Yeah.
anyway, what she did is anybody who clicked interested on the thing, she set up a group chat, right?
Mhm. Okay. All
Right.
right. That's cool.
So now yeah, so she's messaging me from this group chat to say, hi, I saw you click interested on my event. I'm so pleased to know. And, just to remind you, it's going to be tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And then, I'll send you a reminder again tomorrow at, a few minutes
Oh,
before. And then also every time somebody commented in there, I get a notification,
oh,
right?
okay. Okay. Yeah.
Because it's group. So
Yeah.
so now you're staying active and other people are involved. You see?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me put that down. Group chat. Okay.
It's very smart way to go about it. Very smart way. Yeah. So what you do is, all those people who say, yes, I want to come to the webinar, even in comments or when they click interested or going, on the event itself, you message them and you add them to the group chat, right? And so then every new one, whenever somebody new is in there and you're saying, hello, whoever, thank you for coming, well, you get a message. Doesn't matter.
There
You
you
staying
go.
connected and you feel like you're part of something. You're feeling like you're part of something. Be aware that most of the people you are going to be dealing with are lonely. You know this, you understand loneliness, you've been there. This is the issue, right? So be
Yeah.
aware that the service you are providing in the commiseration is community and they're not alone.
Okay.
You can even say this. Say, you know what, you're not alone. Like in your webinar, yeah, okay. You pain point, you're not alone. That's it, and
Yes.
that's it. So you can keep pushing this message, But
Yes.
anyway, lots of things that you can do. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Lots of
Okay.
things you can do.
You go get some sleep.
Brilliant. All right. Yeah, I'm not tired right now, but it takes a long time to go to sleep sometimes. I listen to the story, on the audio stories. So,
Uh-huh.
but I might actually write a little bit.
Oh, good. Good. Okay. All right. Thank you, Sil. Are you there? Hello? Are you there? I can't hear you. Hey.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yep, now I can hear
Okay.
you.
Well, I'm going to read it to you because yeah, I just want you so you can read it along. But this is it's an audio. You have to hear it.
Okay. All right.
If you read it, you have to basically read it with my voice. You have to read it out loud, but kind of. All right, but I'll read it. So,
Okay.
okay, here we go. Part 2. The me of when and more, journeying into the realm of moreness. You remember the poem, right? The me of then and now, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So this is part 2 of that.
Oh,
Right.
cool.
It's a continuation. Right. Yeah. So here we go. The aspirant found Limo again and again. Limo waited. Again, I have been thinking. The aspirant began their journey of sharing. My me of now wants to know about my me of when, the when of me that is to be, since what is not is me of then. And me of now is looking further into the more. I have understood the aspirant, their eyes looking through time. What I learned from my ghosts, is that me of now is a ghost which can be mine. But, agreed, Limo, but a future ghost is a ghost of choosing, a ghost I choose. The aspirant pointing Limo's gaze into the future. Behold the isle, Limo.
Where'd you go? I lost you again. Lost sound. Oh,
More.
I lost.
Why,
Okay.
Limo? Why this need? What happened?
Oh, it blipped out for a little bit.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, I am assisted and I am assisting my me of more. Why, Limo? Why this need? What need for two of me? Two to journey to the isle, two to serve, and three to brave crossing of that placid sea. Why, Limo? Limo waited on that crossing. Yes, why? Limo floated at the aspirant. Why? Because you are not two, you are not three, yet three is yet the me of thee. The aspirant stretched into the then of yearning, the then to come. On landing there on that beach of bare soul, bare bone, bare as alone, complete alone, I stood, me and my me of then, now comforted by a lonely wood. Standing, I knew only one more step, and knew I could step only that one step, as never can we step past one, not until that step of one is a step rightly done. I stepped a one and stepped another one, and there on that isle of then, I did ensconce my wooded me. Finished, I did seek a tree, and there, not one but three, where I did seek to ponder if now perhaps I might be free. Yet I was not, as I was no more. And then, Limo, right then, on this momentous knowing, this understanding of my as sorry, on this momentous knowing, this understanding of my I as law, me understanding my I is law, right there, Limo, there just past those three trees of yore, there opened to my me of more, there beckoned a portentous door. Yes, Limo, a door, the door of no more.
Whoa. So that's awesome.
All right. So yeah. So there is a bit of kind of inside knowledge.
Oh, come back. Wait, it keeps cutting out. Keeps cutting out.
Okay. So
Okay.
this is a famous painting, right?
Yeah,
Of
but
the Isle of the Dead. Now, in the famous painting, there's a little boat in the foreground here with a figure standing. There's a coffin across it. Oh, sorry.
oh, I was going to say,
Right.
when you were reading that, I had this vision of two people standing basically on a wooded kind of isle, a shore with woods behind them, but they were looking out towards an island that has three trees. There's the three trees.
Yeah. Okay. So this is this. So this is this famous painting. There aren't three trees, but in mine, my version has three paints. This painting is basically, it was painted in 1880 the first time, then the painter painted five versions, and it was an early days, it went viral. This is one of the most copied paintings ever, and it became hugely popular at one time. And long stories about this, but anyway, so here's the figure, there's the coffin, and then the person rowing, right? Which is the three and the two and all of this, right? But again, in my version, there's three prominent trees and the rest are kind of smaller. So
Yeah.
I needed the three for the rhymes there. So all right,
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Cool.
But anyway, what this is so we got an exercise in the art as a part in the schooling. He talked about this painting, and basically spent an hour talking on it and all the significance of it. But the actual title of the thing was something about the realm of the mothers. And the realm of the mothers is a place where you can go and connect to Moreness, essentially. It's like the realm of the archetypes. And
Okay.
there's, Faust involved and all this stuff, right? So he said, the exercise is, all right, share your perceptions, your connections, what this means to you, the Isle of the Dead and the realm of the mothers. So I said the realm of Moreness rather than the realm of the mothers, because I want to get into the whole archetype stuff. Okay. So obviously now, and the Isle of, instead of calling it the Isle of the Dead, I called it the Isle of Then. Yes.
Yes.
in the future. So, okay. So now, obviously, my, Limo is telling, sorry, the aspirant is telling Limo about their experience of going to the island. And, and then this portal. Now, this is just the first part of this. There's a lot more to come. Now the aspirant is going to have to go through the portal and what's required to go through the portal and everything. So in order to actually get to the realm of Moreness, the point of the story is, like in the previous one, you have to make peace with your ghosts, right? But
Yes.
now the aspirant is saying, it's not my me of then that's a ghost, but my me of now. I need to make a ghost
Yes.
in order to get to my me of when, which is also my me of more. In
Yes.
other words, I have to let go of my individuality. That one line, by the way,
Yeah.
this is that repeated line is a profound line. This one, on
Dropping the
this
ego.
momentous knowing. Oh, say again.
Oh, I said, isn't that
Sorry,
that's
I
dropping the
said
ego?
correct, exactly. It's not only dropping ego, but all sorts of identity and self-description, which is not open, self-definition. It's dropping all of your beliefs, all of your associations, all of your ideas, all your ambitions and aspirations, right?
Yes.
At some
Yeah.
point now, the aspirant is going to, as the aspirant tries to go to this door, which is a portal, the aspirant finds they can't go through. There's resistance, right? They can, but not easily. And
They're not.
it's long story. It will get explained. Then the rower, who's the assistant in so far, comes up to them and they start talking. And the assistant starts to explain to the aspirant what's needed to get to the realm of more, which is
Yes.
essentially throwing away all your ID and crap and being completely pure. Yes, and pure in terms of your core character only, having no personality. That's it. No ideas, no beliefs, no aspirations, no ambitions. That's to get to this other pure place. You have to be pure. You can't. If you, and she explains, said, if you want to go through this, and it's a long story. I don't want to give the whole story. I'll explain it to you.
Right.
But essentially, if you go into this portal, there's actually a space there that you have to cross to get into the realm of more, like a testing ground, right?
Yeah.
And it's a theme that comes up a lot. And in this thing, it's like desert and it's windy and it's unpleasant. And as the more you walk in it, like if you just go with your normal self, you start walking and it's difficult, but it gets more and more difficult, because even though you are a spirit now, because you were, part of you has died, and you took your me of then, but also your me of now. But even in spirit form, you still got baggage. If you've
Yeah.
still got unresolved issues, it's going to be difficult going through this. And if you try and persist in going through this resistance, right? If you're now stubborn, it gets harder and harder, and eventually you're going to stop and get stuck, and then you're going to die. And well, this is what happens. This is the process. You go die with this stuff that's preventing you from going through, and this stuff creates your new life because you need to resolve it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it all
Yeah.
makes sense. So
Well,
if
it
you
did to
really
me,
want to get out of the cycle of, right, so if you want to break free from the cycle, you can only get through this barrier, the desert barrier, this land of no man's land, as it were. You can only get through when you've got no more unresolved issue, no more baggage, in other words. Yeah.
Why does that sound
Because
like
now your spirit will be free. It's like, yeah, yeah. So the spirit, it's like, when air is heavy with moisture, or with pollution, it's heavier. It's actually got resistance to it. It's got some physicality. You need to be pure with that. You can go through this place, right? So anyway,
Yes.
so that's the big long story here, and this is just the first part. So this is going to be quite a job and a work. But I just wanted to put that in, and I'll make here's the painting, the Isle of the Dead painting, the classic one. There are 5 versions of it. Actually, only 4 survive. 1 got killed in the war, but this is the one that most people know. And then it's like a most copied. So I will make a video, where I'm reading it and the recording, and then put in these paintings and other variations, and my own painting and Venus painting, and hopefully you'll paint a version of the Isle of the Dead, and so on. And I'll keep putting these in, or like that image that you saw, this person on the there by the whatever you saw. If you paint that and draw that, I would appreciate it. I'll add it into the video that I'm going to make, of this, and I'm going to try and get as many like you and Bina and Erica and Cheryl, everybody who draws. I want them to draw me something here that I can use in the video, like a slideshow. I'll have me talking, and then I'll go into a picture, and then you can, when you do it in a video, you can kind of zoom in on the picture, zoom out, pan across it, and so on. You can do that with video making software. So I'll make a whole long story out of it, because this is a poem that has to be heard. There's a mood to the reading of it, and you felt that mood, right? I absolutely love this poem. It really pulls you into a whole other reality, no?
I think you did. I really do.
Yeah.
I really, really do.
Now, right.
It's a perfect continuation of the me of then. It really is.
Exactly. And what was interesting is in that APIS group, there are a lot of broken people in that group. Just really, you can hear their pain and their problems, right? But anyway, so I've been wanting to post the me of now and the me of then and now in that group for a long time, and I didn't have the opportunity. So with this now, I did. So I already posted that as part 1. So this becomes part 2, and you see it's got that the me of when and more, and then the subtitle is Journeying into the Realm of Moreness, right? So it's got a subtitle here, right?
That is
so anyway,
exciting.
I like this. Yeah, it's exciting. But I wanted to read it to you because when you first heard it, I'm talking about the Isle of Then, and there's the reference to those to the 3 people in the boat, which you might not be aware of. But if you know this painting, and when I do share it, this painting will be a part of it, even for those who don't know the exercise. Initially I'll share it obviously in that group, but they'll all know what I'm talking about. But when I, for my own self, the poem will always.
Oh, I lost you again. Nope, I lost you again.
A bit more clearly. So anyway, so I just thought I wanted to test it on somebody who doesn't have that sort of inside knowledge, but it didn't matter. It was still working for you, right? And this is just the start. This is really the start. Now from here further, you don't. Once you get to this point, now it's this conversation. The next thing that comes, the conversation between the aspirant and the assistant. And now it becomes a whole different story again.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
But
now
this is a big line. This understanding of my I as Lord.
Yes. Yes. I keep losing you. Okay, I keep losing you. Hello? Hello? Oh, I completely lost you. Are you still there? Okay.
My headset was interfering with the wireless because it's Bluetooth headset.
Yeah.
So I was just saying this line, this understanding of my I as law is a big deal, and you can look up what law is if you're not with it. It's back in the day it was a term that was much used, and then it sort of fell out. But in gaming, it's become a big deal, the law of the games. But when you think of the I as law rather than as ego, it's a whole different ball game. So that's why I repeated that line. It's a very, very big influential line. And there's a couple of other little things when you sort of know what I'm talking about that are kind of cool. I did ensconce my wooded me. That's the coffin, right? I put the coffin away, in other words, right?
Yep.
So, little things like that. It just, I really enjoyed writing this. And, sometimes, sure, it's an important point I want to make here. For me, the me of then and now, I consider to be a real poem, right? I've got a bunch of poems that I don't think are real poems. I've got a few that are real poems. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
As the one that I feel really this is a real poem, and the same one as well, because I mean, it has the rhyming, which is it just flows, it flows, it flows, and
Yes.
I have a specific style. This when you repeat like this, right, again and again, and again, that's called epistrophe. When you are repeating for specific effect, right? So
Yeah.
I enjoy this as a style. It works very well for me. And my file is actually called, where I keep my real poems in, it's called the Epistles of Epistrophe, because I also like alliteration. So, but this has got, when sometimes you've got to recognize when your things come out and they come out good and right. Yes,
Yes.
and this excites me because it comes, and I know it's good, I know it's right. I have to do very little work on it. There's one line that I feel I want to see if I can't fix. This one, there on that beach of bare soul, bare bone, bare as alone, complete alone.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can't change this.
Okay. No, I mean, I'm wondering if that isn't the one that you had to read again. Was that the one that was bothering you?
This line, I want to see if I can't change it. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe like just bare as lone, complete alone.
See, hold on. Okay, I got it. Okay, there's the whole thing.
Yeah. Or maybe I could say bare as lone, Loan. But I don't know how that will make sense in here.
No, not LOAN. There is no. Well, okay. Couldn't you repeat it because you were okay? Bare as alone, complete.
I did. That's the line is as I have it now is bare as alone, complete alone. Maybe there should be a comma in there. But
maybe that's what it is.
What's that?
Because maybe that was it just needed a comma because bare as alone, complete alone feels right.
Yeah.
As in you're emphasizing how
the comma really, I don't know why I didn't put the comma. I put commas like that elsewhere. I don't know why I did it here.
Just typo maybe.
Maybe who knows. Anyway, there we go, problem solved. And this too, this is a very, just from a philosophical point of view, right? This little section here, standing, I knew only one more step, and knew I could step only that one step. As never can we step past one, not until that step of one is a step rightly done. This to me, I don't know, I just like, wow, man, I love this. Even though it doesn't matter that I'm writing it, I think this is just freaking awesome.
See, that's the part that started to remind me. Actually, the whole thing kind of reminded me of a personal journey. But when you got to that part, then I was like, oh, wait, this feels like my journey. It did. So, while you're reading it, I was imagining, and that's when I got to the, oh, you're still there. I dropped my phone. That's when I got to the picture in my head before you showed me. So I'll gladly draw you one. What I saw.
I think I might finish. I might change this. I did seek 3, 2.
Okay, where is this?
So yeah. Okay, I stepped one and stepped another one, and there on that Isle of Then. This is now right after they put away the coffin, right? And there on that Isle of Then, comes my wooded me, finished. I to 3. Okay, not 1 but 3. Right. So now I changed it, not to seek a tree, but I did seek 2 tree.
Yes.
What the hell does 2 tree mean?
Well, I don't know. A tree.
But
I did.
What if I say I'm going? What the hell what can it mean? It can only mean I'm seeking to be like a tree, which is what does a tree do? A tree stands and thinks and ponders and reflects, and right? They still, but they exist. They grow. They're more, but in right? They're not busy. They're not running around, right? So in the context here, it's basically to reflect, to ponder, right? Because it says now, I did seek to tree, and there not 1 but 3, where I did seek to ponder, right? So I'm seeking to tree, but I find 3 tree, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So it makes it clear, but change it from I did seek a tree.
Oh, okay. That's what they do. Okay, 2 tree. There you go. Thank you. It's like
yeah. Sorry, you see, my cursor is here.
Okay.
Right. So I just a little change from A to 2, and it changes the whole thing now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because also maybe by implication, they are saying, well, you know, I've put this away and I'm letting go of myself and I'm basically going to become a tree, which is kind of like another way of dying, sort of, no?
Yeah, in a
You
sad
know,
way.
or transforming into a thing. But okay, now it makes more sense though as we go along. No. I'm just looking to ponder, to reflect, to think, you know, what's next now? I'm done with everything and I'm just
There we
kind of
go.
reflecting and pondering, right?
Right. Okay, but you explain that down there further when you say on this momentous knowing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Because well, I say to finished, I did seek to tree, and there not one but three where I did seek to ponder if now perhaps I might be free. You know, I might put in here, and there not one but three I did find where I could seek, something like that. You know.
I did find. And there not one but three I did find, or I find.
Exactly. And I do want to elaborate on this again. And basically to say there were three special trees. You know, I did find among more, right? I mean, but there and there, not one but three, I did find among more. Yeah,
I like
but
that.
you know, I have to get the language of it. You know, but three stood out and they drew me, and this is they drew there because by these three was the portal. See?
Well, not only that, three is a very significant number to portals. So
Well, exactly, because in this issue, it is about the three me's. The
yes.
me of then, the me of now, and the me of when, right? So
Yep.
past, present, and future me. So the three is significant. Exactly.
That's perfect. This is really deep.
But in the story later on, I will use, you know, the three trees, and one is an old tree, and you know it's got, you know, dead leaves on it and stuff like this. You know, it's a past me, and then the now is all fresh, and the future's got buds or whatever. You know, some symbolic representations of past, present, and future.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Anyway, I'm just going through the process of it, sharing with you. It's always good to see the creative process. But you know, when you grab onto something and the underlying is right, you know, the deeper intent, the how of it comes really easily. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
All right. Well, I'm gonna.
Comes through you. Sure, comes through you, not from you.
Yes.
That's why I enjoy it, because it's coming through me. You know, some of them are from me, but yeah, for the most part. All right, brilliant. All right, brilliant. All right, see you whenever we see you. So very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. You know, I want to just emphasize. Look at all the moreness that came simply because you could not fucking leave that thing alone.
Exactly. Isn't
You
it
could not
something?
leave well enough alone. And this is the power of the necessity to come to resolution. Right?
Yes.
We need to have that pressure to say, I can't leave things alone. This is not how I am. Like me, I can't leave things unresolved. I just cannot. Right?
No.
If it's right, I keep at it until I find the rightness. And look how much more right than you ever imagine.
Yeah. Well, see, now I have to redo my I have to redo a little bit of opening and stuff on my book. Now I can write it. Now I can write it. Now I can get the course done. The support group, all of that. I can do that.
Exactly. I still gotta leave a comment on your post.
Okay.
Yeah. I was there, and I kept getting distracted.
It's okay.
All right.
Okay. You
You can respond tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. Okay, good night.
Good night, Sher. Good night. Sleep awesome.
You too.
And dream create.
Yes. Okay, bye-bye.
All right.